Gitanjali by Rabindranath Tagore. Translated by the original author. Verses 41 to 50. Verse 41. Where dost thou stand behind them all, my lover, hiding thyself in the shadows? They push thee and pass thee by on the dusky road, taking thee for naught. I wait here weary hours, spreading my offerings for thee, while passers-by come and take my flowers, one by one, and my basket is nearly empty. The morning time is past, and the noon. In the shade of evening my eyes are drowsy with sleep. Men going home glance at me and smile, and fill me with shame. I sit like a beggar maid, drawing my skirt over my face. And when they ask me, what is it I want, I drop my eyes and answer them not. Oh, how indeed could I tell them that for thee I wait, and that thou hast promised to come? How could I utter for shame that I keep for my dowry this poverty? Ah, I hug this pride in the secret of my heart. I sit on the grass and gaze upon the sky, and dream of the sudden splendor of thy coming. All the lights ablaze, golden pennons flying over thy car, and they at the roadside standing agape, when they see thee come down from thy seat to raise me from the dust, and set at thy side this ragged beggar girl, a tremble with shame and pride, like a creeper in the summer breeze. But time glides on, and still no sound of the wheels of thy chariot. Many a procession passes by, with noise and shout and glamour of glory. It is only thou who wouldst stand in the shadow, silent and behind them all, and only I who would wait and weep, and wear out my heart in vain longing. Verse 42. Early in the day it was whispered that we should sail in a boat, only thou and I, and never a soul in the world would know of this, our pilgrimage to no country and to no end. In that shoreless ocean, at thy silently listening smile, my songs would swell in melodies, free as waves, free from all bondage of words. Is the time not come yet? Are there works still to do? Lo, the evening has come down upon the shore, and in the fading light the sea-birds come flying to their nests. Who knows when the chains will be off, and the boat, like the last glimmer of sunset, vanish into the night. Verse 43. The day was when I did not keep myself in readiness for thee, and entering my hut unbidden, even as one of the common crowd, unknown to me, my king, thou didst press the signet of eternity upon many a fleeting moment of my life. And today, when by chance I light upon them and see thy signature, I find they have lain scattered in the dust, mixed with the memory of joys and sorrow, of my trivial days forgotten. Thou didst not turn in contempt from my childish play among dust, and the steps that I heard in my play-room are the same that are echoing from star to star. Verse 44. This is my delight, thus, to wait and watch at the wayside, where shadow chases light and the rain comes in the wake of the summer. Messengers with tidings from unknown skies greet me and speed along the road. My heart is glad within, and the breath of the passing breeze is sweet. From dawn till dusk I sit here before my door, and I know that of a sudden the happy moment will arrive when I shall see. In the meanwhile I smile and I sing all along. In the meanwhile the air is filling with the perfume of promise. Verse 45. Have you not heard his silent steps? He comes, comes, ever comes. Every moment and every age, every day and every night. He comes, comes, ever comes. Many a song have I sung in many a mood of mind, but all their notes have always proclaimed, He comes, comes, ever comes. In the fragrant days of sunny April, through the forest path, He comes, comes, ever comes. In the rainy gloom of July nights, on the thundering chariot of clouds, He comes, comes, ever comes. In sorrow after sorrow, it is His steps that press upon my heart, and it is the goal-distant time thou art ever coming nearer to meet me. Thy sun and stars can never keep thee hidden from me for aye. In many a morning and eve thy footsteps have been heard, and thy messengers have come within my heart and called me in secret. I know not only why today my life is all astir, and a feeling of tremulous joy is passing through my heart. It is as if the time were come to wind up my work, and I feel in the air a faint smell of thy sweet presence. Verse 47. The night is nearly spent waiting for him in vain. I fear lest in the morning he suddenly come to my door when I have fallen asleep, wearied out. Oh, friends, leave the way open to him. Forbid him not. If the sounds of his steps does not wake me, do not try to rouse me, I pray. I wish not to be called from my sleep by the clamorous choir of birds, by the riot of wind at the festival of morning light. Let me sleep undisturbed, even if my Lord comes of a sudden to my door. Ah, my sleep, precious sleep, which only waits for his touch to vanish. Ah, my closed eyes, that would open thy lids only to the light of his smile, when he stands before me like a dream, emerging from darkness of sleep. Let him appear before my sight as the first of all light and all forms, the first thrill of joy to my awakened soul. Let it come from his glance, and let my return to myself be immediate return to him. Verse 48. The morning sea of silence broke into ripples of bird songs. The flowers were all merry by the roadside, and the wealth of gold was scattered through the rift of the clouds, while we busy went on our way and took no heed. Sang no glad songs nor played, we went not to the village for barter, we spoke not a word nor smiled, we lingered not on the way. We quickened our pace more and more as the time sped by. The sun rose to the mid-sky, and doves cooed in the shade. Withered leaves dart and whirled in the hot air of noon. The shepherd boy drowsed and dreamed in the shadow of the banyan tree. And laid myself down by the water, and stretched my tired limbs on the grass. My companions laughed at me in scorn. They held their heads high and hurried on. They never looked back nor rested. They vanished in the distant blue haze. They crossed many meadows and hills, and passed through strange faraway countries. All honor to you, heroic host of the interminable path. Mockery and reproach helped me to rise, but found no response in me. I gave myself up for lost, in the depth of a glad humiliation, in the shadow of a dim delight. The response of the sun-embroidered green gloom slowly spread over my heart. I forgot for what I had travelled, and I surrendered my mind without struggle to the maze of shadows and songs. At last, when I woke from my slumber and opened my eyes, I saw thee standing by me, flooding my sleep with thy smile. How I had feared that the path was long and wearisome, and the struggle to reach thee was hard. Verse 49. You came down from your throne and stood at my cottage door. I was singing all alone in a corner, and the melody caught your ear. You came down and stood at my cottage door. Masters are many in your hall, and songs are sung there at all hours, but the simple carol, this novice, struck at your love, one plaintive little strain, mingled with the great music of the world, and with a flower for a prize, you came down and stopped at my cottage door. Verse 50. I had gone a-begging from door to door in the village path, when thy golden chariot appeared in the distance like a gorgeous dream, and I wondered, who was this king of all kings? My hopes rose high, and methought my evil days were at an end. And I stood waiting for alms to be given unasked, and for wealth scattered on all sides in the dust. The chariot stopped where I stood. Thy glance fell on me, and thou camest down with a smile. I felt that the luck of my life had come at last. Then of a sudden thou didst hold out thy right hand and say, What hast thou to give to me? Ah, what a kingly jest was it, to open thy palm to a beggar to beg. I was confused and stood undecided, and then from my wallet I slowly took out the least little grain of corn and gave it to thee. But how great my surprise when at the day's end I emptied my bag on the floor to find a least little gram of gold upon the poor heap. I bitterly wept and wished that I had the heart to give thee my all. End of verse 41 to 50.